So hi guys, good morning. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So in this video, we are going to discuss about variables, like how to declare variable in C language and how to use those variables. What are the keywords? What are the identifiers? So we are going to discuss about all these things in video. So please watch complete video till the end. So let's get started. So the first topic is what are variables? Now let's discuss about it. So you can say a variable is a name of memory location, or you can say a variable is a name of memory block used to store and fetch data from the computer memory while the execution of program. So what exactly we do by using variables? So by using variables, we store some data in computer memory and we retrieve those data also. Okay, so this is the main purpose of using variables in our program. Now let's try to understand in better way how variables are used and why we use variables. What is the main purpose? Okay, so let me write it down a C program here. So as you can see, I have written a C program here in which I am multiplying the integer value 10 by the 10. So what will be the output of this expression? This expression will return? So it will return 100. Okay, and when I will execute this program, then it will be stored somewhere in computer memory. It will occupy some space. Let's say, let me draw the computer memory for better understanding. So as you can see, this is our primary memory called RAM. Okay, and each block is specifying some memory block. Okay, some memory location. So whenever I will execute this program, the output of this expression will be stored somewhere in computer memory. Let's say it is stored in this memory block. Here the value 100. Sorry. Okay, so the value 100 is stored in this memory block, and each memory block has some address. So the address of this memory block is like 1000. For example, the address of this memory block is 1000. So each time I will execute this program, the output of this expression will be stored somewhere in computer memory, and for now it is stored in this memory block which address is 1000. Now I want to use the output of this expression in the next line in this program. So how can I access the value of this expression? Okay, this 100 value is stored in this memory block. How can I access in our program? How can I retrieve the value from this memory address in our program? This is the question. And we know the functionality of RAM very well. It's a random access memory. So it's not like each time the value of this expression will be stored in same place, because many processes are running on our computer system. So when I will close this program, the other process will occupy this memory block, and when again I will execute this program, so operating system will provide some different memory block, some different memory area to store the value of this expression. You got it my point? Because the resources on computer system is limited, and there are lots of thousands of processes who want to use that resource to perform some operation. So it's a part of operating system where you learn about fragmentation and defragmentation, how memory allocates some process, okay, and how memory deallocate when a process complete their task. So it's a part of operating system. Just forget about it and let's come to the point. So to access this data, to retrieve this type of data in our computer program, we use variables. Okay, now let's see how variables access this data from computer memory. So I'm changing something in this program. So now as you can see, I have written here int, which is type of data, and we will discuss about data types in this video. Okay, so don't worry about it. Int means integer type of data. Okay, now the next word is res. It's a variable name. Res means result, the sort of result. Okay, so it's a variable name in which I'm assigning. Generally this symbol is known as equals to, but in programming language this is known as assign operator. Okay, assignment operator. Okay, so I am assigning what? The value of this expression 10 into 10. Now what is the meaning of this complete line? Whenever this complete line will be executed, it will say computer, hey computer, I have to store some integer value in computer memory. Now computer will ask, do you have any value? It will say yes, I have value. Computer will ask, what is the value? It will say the output of this expression. So computer will perform operations. The computer will multiply 10 into 10 and it will say the output is 100 and the 100 will be stored in somewhere in computer memory. Now this time the 100 will be stored here. Okay, and the address of this memory block is for now 2000. After performing operation on this expression, whatever the output it is of this expression will be stored somewhere in computer memory, and now the address of that memory block will be returned. Now the rest will have the address of that memory block, which is 2000. Now what is the difference between previous expression and this expression? Now if you want to access the output of this expression 10 into 10, you can access through the variable name, and the variable name is res. We can fetch the data of this expression by this variable name, because res have the address of that memory block where the output of this expression has been stored. Now through this variable name we can access the output of this expression, which is stored in computer memory somewhere. We don't know where it is stored. Okay, but through this variable we can access, because whenever the value will be stored in computer memory, the address of that memory block will be returned and the variable res will have the address of that memory block. Okay, so the help of this variable we can retrieve data from this memory block, and we can also assign some different value. Now as you can see, I have written one more statement here. Okay, in the next line I am saying res equals to 200. Now what the meaning of this line? Whenever this statement, or you can say this line, will be executed by computer, it will say, hey computer, store 200 in that memory block which address res have. It means whenever this statement will be executed, the 200 will be stored in that memory block which address res have. Now here what will happen? 200 will be stored, because first I have assigned the output of this expression 10 into 10, which is 100. Now in the next line I am saying store 200 in that memory block which address res have, and the res have the address of this memory block, as you can see here. So 200 will be stored in this memory block. So by using variables we can store some data in memory block, we can fetch, we can retrieve data, and we can also store some different data in that memory block. But whenever I will store some new data in that memory block, the previous data will be destroyed. Now if you are going to use variable in C program, then you have to consider two things. First, the declaration of variable, okay, and second, the initialization of variable. Now what is declaration and what is initialization? Let's discuss about it. Now what is the meaning of declaration? So declaration means declaring anything. And as we know, C is a static type language. It means we have to declare before the use. For example, I have to use a variable named num, then we have to declare before using it. If I'm not declaring the variable name, then it will generate error. So declaration means notifying the compiler. Hey compiler, I'm going to use this variable. I'm going to use the variable of name this in our program, and the type will be this. Let's see. This is known as declaration. When this line will be executed, compiler will understand, oh, you are going to use a variable of type integer, which name is num. Okay, fine, we can use. So this is known as declaration. I have declared a variable type of integer. It means the variable which name is num will have the integer type of value. Okay, now in the next line, we can initialize this variable. Initializing means storing some data. Whenever we declare any variable and we don't initialize it, in that situation the variable contains garbage value. And this type of question also asked in examination. For example, there is a variable n type of integer and the variable has not been initialized. So what will be the value of a variable? So the right answer is garbage value. It will contain randomly any value, okay, any number. I will show you practically in this video, so don't worry about it. Okay, and sometimes it's also asked as reverse, like what is garbage value. So whenever we declare any variable and we don't initialize that variable, then the variable contains some random value is known as garbage value. Okay, so keep it in your mind. Fine. Now let's move to the second point, which is initialization. Now what is the initialization? Whenever we declare any variable, after the declaration, if we store some data in that variable, means we are storing some data in computer memory which address the variable will have. It means it is known as initialization. So as you can see here, I have declared a variable which is known as a declaration. Now I am storing some data. I am saying num assign 100. So this is known as initialization. I am initializing this variable with some value. One more thing is here that is very important. If you are going to initialize any variable, the type of value must be similar, must be same as the type of variable. What it means? It means here I have declared the type of num variable is integer, as you can see here. Now in the next line I am going to initialize num variable with different data type like this. Now this line will generate error. Although some implicit type conversion works, but it's not a good practice. Whenever this line will be executed, it will say, hey, you have declared that num will store some integer data, but you are assigning here some float data, means some decimal data. So it will generate error. It's not a good practice. Okay, so the type of value that we are going to initialize the variable must be the type of variable. Now one more question is here, why it generate error? What is the logic behind it? What is the reason? So I will answer this question whenever I will discuss about different data types in C language. Now let's see all these things practically. Okay, so let me open the VS Code. So as you can see, it was our first program. Let me create a new program file here. So the name of file will be variables.c. Fine. Now I'm going to write a simple program and I will start from the first example. Okay. Now the first example was like this. We were multiplying 10 by 10 in that example. Now let's try to run this program and then we will see what is the output. Let me increase the size so it will be more clearly visible to you. So as you can see, program executed successfully, and here is the executable file variables.exe, as you can see in the left side. Since I'm not printing anything in this program, so the terminal is just blank. It is not printing anything, but the program executed successfully. Now let's implement the second example in which we are storing the output of this expression in a variable. Okay, so let me declare a variable here, race. So as you can see, I have declared a variable race. Now let me store the output of this expression in this race variable. Okay, one more thing is here. As you can see, here I have used two lines. In first line I am declaring a variable, and in second line I am initializing race with the output of this expression. But here, as you can see, I have written all the statement in single line. You can do. We can also write like this. Okay, there is no problem. But good practice is declare variable in one line and then use it. Okay, now let's try to run this program. Again, we are not printing any value. Let me print it here. Now what I have done in this program, I have declared a variable called race where the type of race variable is integer, and in the next line I'm storing the output of this expression in the race. Okay, and after that I'm printing the value of race. So as I told you, whatever the output of this expression will be after executing, it will be stored somewhere in computer memory, and the address of that memory block the race variable will have. Okay, and now using this race variable we can access that value from the computer memory. So this program is the complete implementation of this example. Okay, so just let me run this program. Now as you can see in the console, the output is 100. Okay, so when this line is executed, the output of this expression is stored somewhere in computer memory, and the address of that memory block the race variable will have. And by using race variable, I'm printing the value of that memory block. Okay, let me assign some different value in that memory block. So here I'm saying race assign 2000. Now what I'm doing here, I'm assigning the output of this expression in race variable. Means the output of this expression will be stored somewhere in computer memory, and the address of that memory block or that memory location the race variable will have. Okay, and again in the next line I'm saying the assigned 2000 value in that memory block which address race variable will have. So the 2000 value will be stored in that memory block which address the race variable will have. Now I'm printing the value of that memory block which address race variable will have. So now the output of this program will be 2000. Let me run the program. As you can see, the output is 2000. This is known as declaration, and this is known as initialization. Here in the first line I am declaring the variable, and here I am assigning the value. Now let's see, if we don't initialize any value to a variable, just we declare, then what the value the variable contains. Okay, let's see. So I will comment out these two lines. We will also discuss about comment. I have comment these two lines. So what are the comments, why we use comments, we will discuss about it in this video. Okay, so don't worry. Now I am assigning a float value to race variable like this. Now I am printing. Now as you can see, here the output is 100 of this program, and it not generated any error. But it may be your question that you have told that it will generate error, but it not generated any error. Why? How it is possible? Because the implicit type conversions worked here. Now what is the type conversion? We will discuss about it in next video, in different video. But for now, just understand what happened here. It determined the type of race variable is integer. So it stored the integer part in this variable, and it ignored the rest of part after the decimal value. But maybe your question, but you have told it will generate error, it not generating. So let's change the value. Now I am assigning a value called a string. Okay, it is a collection of characters, and I am assigning to race. Now I am trying to print the value of race. Now as you can see, it generated error in console. Fine. So whenever you are going to initialize a variable after the declaration, then you have to remember the type of the value and the type of variable must be same. Otherwise it will generate error, it will generate unexpected result. Okay, fine. Now let's see what will happen if I'm not initializing this race variable with any value. Then what will be the output of this variable? So now I can see, let me delete all these things. Now as you can see, I have not initialized the race variable with any value. I have just declared it, and here I am printing the value of race variable. Okay, so let's see what is the output. So as you can see, it's a random value It's a random value. It can be anything value. Okay, this is known as garbage value. This is very important question. It may be asked in the examination as well as interview. If we are declaring any variable but we are not assigning any value to that variable in C, then what the initial value the variable will contain? So the right answer is the initial value of variable will be garbage. Okay, fine. Till now we have discussed about variables. What are variables? Why we use variables, how we access data from computer memory, how we store data in computer memory by using variables. Okay, how we declare and initialize a variable, what are the garbage value, and what happened if we declare a variable but not initialized. We discuss all these things till now. Now there are some rules to construct, to declare a variable. We will discuss about it, but before it we have to discuss one more important topic, which is keywords. What are keywords? So let's discuss about it, and then after we will discuss about the rules for constructing, for declaring a variable in C language. Okay, so all the words which have some special meaning, or you can say which meaning or definition is defined in C compiler, are known as keywords. Okay, a keyword can't be redefined in our program. And in C language, there are only 32 keywords. That's why C language is known as easy to learn, because it's contain only 32 keywords. That's it. Now let's take example of some keywords and try to understand what are the keywords. Okay, so for example, int, float, char, okay, etc. There are 32 keywords. I will provide the link in description of the document in which you will find all the keywords name. Okay, so you can remember it, but it's not required, but you can remember. So why the int is keyword? Because the meaning of int is defined in C compiler. And what it defines? It defines the data type. Means whenever we use like int, num or something else. So here, let me change the color. Here int specify the type of variable. Means num variable will have the integer type of data only. Okay, so the meaning of this word, this int, is defined in C compiler. We can't use this int word, or you can say int keyword like this. Int, or like this. Float, int. Now when these two lines will be compiled or execute, it will generate error, because the meaning of int is defined in C compiler. And what is the meaning of int? It specifies the type of data type, but we have used here int as a variable name. Here I have also used int as a variable name, which is not allowed. So all those words which meaning is defined in C compiler are known as keywords, and programmer can't use that keyword for their own purpose as a function name or variable name. It means programmer can't redefine the keyword. We can't redefine, we can't change the meaning of that keyword. Here what I am doing, in the second statement, I am redefining the meaning of int. I am saying here use int is a variable name. Here I am also saying use int is a variable name, which is not allowed, because it is a keyword. Its meaning has been defined in C compiler and we can't redefine it. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is rules for constructing variables name. There are some rules that must be followed while constructing a variable name, while choosing a variable name, while declaration of a variable. Okay, so we'll see all of these rules one by one. Okay, so let's start from the first. So the first rule says the first character of variable name must be an alphabet or underscore. It means whenever you are going to declare a variable name, whenever you are going to use a variable and you are declaring a variable in your program in C language, then the first character of that variable name that you are going to choose, that you are going to declare in your program, must be an alphabet or underscore. Instead of these two characters, we can't use any other character as a first character of your variable name. Let me write it down here. I have declared one variable here. Let me change the color. Wait. So as you can see, I have declared one variable int num, where the type of num variable is int, and the first character. This first character is an alphabet, which is right. Let me declare one more variable int underscore num. Now as you can see, here I have declared one more variable, and the first character of this variable name is underscore. You can see here the first character of this variable name is underscore, which is right, which is allowed in C. But instead of these two, the alphabet or underscore, we can't use any other character or any other special symbol as a first character of variable name. For example, let me change the color. As you can see, here I have declared two more variables, where the first character of variable name is digit, which is 1. Let me correct it like this. Here the first character of variable name is integer, and in this next variable, the first character of variable name is dollar symbol, some special character, which are not allowed. We can't declare variable like this. First two are correct. We can declare variable like this, but the second two are not allowed. We can't declare any variable in C language like this. The first character of any variable name must be an alphabet or underscore. Now let's move to the second rule. The second rule says a variable name can be any combination of 1 to 31 characters consisting alphabet, digit or underscore. As you can see here, alphabet, digit and underscore. It means a variable name can be of 1 character or maximum 31 character, and it can contain digits, underscore or alphabet, nothing else. Okay, but it may be your question that we have told here digit is not allowed, and now you are saying a variable name contain digit. Yes, digit can't be the first character of a variable name, but after the first character you can use digit in between the variable name or in the last of variable name. For example, int num1, you can use like this. This is allowed. Okay, but the first character must be an alphabet or underscore. We can also declare like int num underscore 1. This is also allowed. We can declare variable like this. Okay, but the first character must be an underscore or an alphabet. Okay, now let's move to the third rule. So the third rule says no blank space or comma allowed in variable name. We can't use blank space or comma in the variable name like this. Int num 1, int num comma 1. These are not allowed. We can't declare variable like this. So as you can see here, this variable name contains a blank space and this variable name contains a comma, which are not allowed in C. We can't use these characters in variable name. Now the fourth rule says no special character or symbol other than underscore can be used in variable name. It means we can't use any other special character, a special symbol in variable name except underscore. Only underscore are allowed in variable name. We can't use any other special character or other special symbol except underscore. Okay, so these are some rules for constructing a variable name, for declaring a variable name in C language. Okay, we can also add one more rule in this group, which is we can't use any keywords as a variable name. Yes, this is true and also applied We can't use any keywords as a variable name, as I told you before this topic. So if you want, you can add in this group. Okay, now let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is, what are identifiers? So the name of variables, functions, array, structure, union are known as identifier. Or you can say the names or words declared and defined by the programmers in a program are known as identifiers. In simple word, the name of variables, the name of any function, the name of any structure, union, array. What is the structure, what is the unions, what is the array? We will discuss about it later in this video while we will discuss about data type. Okay, for now just understand, whenever you are declaring any variable, any functions, so the name of that variable, name of that function is known as identifier. For example, so as you can see here, the name of variable, let me change the color. The name of variable is num, which is an identifier. The name of function is main, which is an identifier. Okay, so the name of any variables, any functions, array, structure are known as identifier. This identifies something. If I am declaring any function like this, void sum, as you can see in this example, sum is a name of function. Okay, what is void? Just ignore for now. We will discuss about all these things when we will discuss about functions in separate video. But for now, just understand the sum is what? Sum is the name of a function. And if anyone read the name of function sum, it means what? It identifying that some function will perform some operation. It will add any numbers. Okay, so all the words declared and defined by the programmer in a program which identifying something are known as identifier. That's all. Okay, now let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is comments in C language. What are the comments? So comments are those lines, or you can say comments are those statements in program which are not compiled. Compiler ignore these lines of program, or you can say these lines in a program. Okay, these lines in the program. Okay, there are two types of comments in C language. First one is single line comment and the second one is multi-line. Okay, but the main question is why we use comments. What is the need of comment in program? Now as you can see here, I have written a C program in which I am declaring a variable called num and then I am printing the value of num. Okay, the output of this program will be garbage value. I will print any garbage value because I am not initializing the num variable and I am printing the value of num. Now let's say I have to share this source code. I have to share this program file with any other person, with my friend or with anyone who is started learning C language, who is beginner. And I want to mention some instructions, some guidelines in this program so that whenever they open this source code in code editor, they can understand what this program is doing. So how can I mention those statements, those guidelines in this program? For now, just it's a simple program of 4 lines. Okay, but whenever you work in a company, whenever you work for an organization, then multiple developers, lots of developers work on a same project and each developer writes code for a specific functionality of that project. So in that scenario, the comments are very important. Using comments, programmers or you can say developers specify the use of any block of code, use of any variables, use of any function, what these block of code are doing in the program, in the project. what this variable is doing, why this variable is declared. They specify using comments, so that in future if any developers, or you can say any other programmers, read the code, they are able to know what this block of code is doing, what is the use of this block of code. Okay, so this is the use of comments. Now let's see how we declare comments, how we define comments, and the both types of comments. For the single line, we use double forward slash like this. After this double forward slash, whatever I will write in this line, it will be ignored by the compiler. Compiler will not compile these statements, or you can say this statement will not be executed. It will be treated as comments. Okay, fine. And for double line comment, or you can say for multi-line comment, we use forward slash, asterisk symbol, again asterisk symbol, and then forward slash. So this is used for multi-line comment, and this is used for single line. Okay, now let's take a demo of this example. So as you can see, this is our previous program. Now I'm going to declare a single line comment in the line number 5. So what I'll have to do, I'll have to use double forward slash. Now I will write anything in this line will be treated as comments. Let's see. So the compiler will treat this line as a comment. Now let's declare a multi-line comment here. So for the multi-line comment, the forward slash, asterisk symbol, and forward slash is used. Now you can mention a number of lines in between these two symbols. So as you can see, I have added here 2 lines. So this is an example of multi-line comment, and this is the example of single line comment. Okay, fine. Let me execute the program. The output will be same. Garbage value. So this is how we declare a comment in C program. Okay.